What is up, guys? Lildogdog here. Today I'm bringing you a guide for the quest The Temple at Senntisten. This is the quest where you get the ancient curses and restore the Temple of Senntisten at the Digsite. Now this is a fairly difficult quest with some puzzles. It's rated as a master quest and it's kind of long, so let's just get right into it. So the quest requirements for this quest are that you have completed the Curse of Arav, Devious Mines, and Desert Treasure, as well as all the prerequisite quests to those three quests, which there are quite a few, as well as you must have 125 kudos at least from the Varak Museum to begin this quest. Next we have the skill requirements, and although there is only one actual skill requirement, which consists of 50 plus prayer, I'm going to recommend that you have at least 70, or at least 60 magic, or higher combat stats, like 70 plus melee combat stats for fighting the Barrows brothers, as you have to be able to defeat all 6 Barrows brothers, and you can leave and come back and do multiple trips, but it's going to take a while if you have to eat a whole inventory of food. So I'm going to recommend you have at least 60 magic or 70 plus melee combat stats, as well as just 90 plus combat, just a basic 90 plus combat. That way you can defeat the Barrows brothers without having to make a bunch of trips. It'll just make it a lot easier. Plus, if you already have that 50 plus prayer, you're going to have those protection prayers, so you'll be able to use those against the Barrows brothers. As for the needed items, there is only one actual needed item for this quest also, and those are runes for the telekinetic grab spell. But I'm also going to recommend, and it's kind of a recommendation, but it's also definitely needed, that you have combat equipment for the Barrows brothers boss, as well as the Ice Demon boss you have to fight to get the Frosthorne at the end of this quest. Now for recommended items, as I've been saying, I'm recommending that for that set of combat equipment, it is magic combat equipment. It's going to make the Barrows brothers a lot easier, as for the 6 brothers attack with melee, it just makes it a lot easier if you have the right side of the combat triangle on your side. You're going to want around 10 food also for the bosses, as well as 2 super restore potions or prayer potions so you can get your prayer points back up, an emergency teleport just in case something goes awry, as well as runes for all 4 elemental spells, if you're using magic, so you can target the specific brother's weaknesses. And finally, to start, you're going to want to speak to Ali the Wise in his home in Narda. This is where you also started the Curse of Arav. So, as I just said, you're going to speak to Ali the Wise in Narda and choose the first chat option, How Goes the Research. This is going to trigger the quest dialogue in which he asks for your opinion about gods and Zamorak and Zaros. You can choose whatever chat options you want, but I'm going to show you the chat options I chose on screen so you can just follow what I did to make sure you can start the quest. If you've been following my chat options, at this point you're going to say Zaros seems to be an honorable god. He's going to tell you he agrees, and then you're going to get the dialogue that pops up to accept the quest. Just go ahead and do that. And then Ali the Wise is going to tell you about the guy at the dig site. So choose the second chat option, Can you help me get to the Digsite Exam Center? And he's going to give you Ali's pendant, which will teleport you right to the dig site. So teleport to the dig site using the pendant. And now you're going to go to the exam center to speak to the doctor who he spoke about. The exam center is going to be south from where you get teleported. You get teleported just north of the dig site, and the exam center is all the way in the south of the dig site area. So you just have to run there, although it is not too far, especially with that teleport you were given from Ali. So you're going to want to speak to the doctor who's walking around the courtyard of the exam center, and choose the first chat option, Whisper, Why are we talking so quietly? You're going to discover that it's actually Azandra, the Majorat. Choose options 1 through 3 at this point, asking questions about why the Majorat is here, what she's doing, and all that nonsense. Read through the dialogue if you're interested, but if you're using a guide, you're probably not that interested, but you might be. I don't judge. Once you've clicked all options 1 through 3, choose the 4th chat option. Just tell me what you want. Azandra is going to tell you that you need to go into the exam center and convince the archaeologist to let Azandra restore the temple to what it once was, although Azandra actually has no references or anything like that to prove that she has experience. She or he, I don't know what gender she is. So you're going to go speak to the archaeological expert and choose the first chat option, I'm here about a close friend of mine, Dr. Nabernick. Click through the dialogue and then choose the second chat option, I can be his reference. Now, it's at this point you can choose really any of the chat options, 1 through 3, other than Nevermind. But if you want to follow what chat options I chose, you'll be able to do what I did and make sure you're getting it right. So choose the option he studies pyramids, particularly their interiors. And then you're going to choose the 5th chat option, he was involved in the recovery of desert treasure. It's at this point the archaeological expert in the exam center will allow Azandra to restore the temple. So speak to Dr. Namanik, who is actually Azandra, and you will get a rope to go down into Senntisten, which is the temple that Azandra wants to restore. Now, you could teleport with the pendant, but it's nice to save those teleports, and it's a very short walk. So from here, once you get the rope, you're going to want to head to the dig site. Like I said, you could teleport, but it's a very short walk. And it'll be nice to bank that pendant and use it, have it for later use, like crew skulls and stuff like that. So you're going to want to come up to the winch here and use your rope on it. Once you've used the rope, you can operate the winch and then go south into the temple. Once you're in there, you're going to want to speak to Azandra and choose the first chat option. I'd like to talk about the temple. Get used to choosing that option because it happens a lot throughout the quest. So choose the first chat option. Is there anything I can do to help? And then choose the first chat option once again. Okay, what do I need to do? Once more, the first chat option to ask about the mission in Mauritania. This involves killing the Barrow brothers to get a Barrow's pendant, as well as the mission in the north, which is about getting the Frosthorne back because it funnels power. Choose the second chat option after the dialogue. The cold has never bothered me before. Open the ruined backpack in your inventory, read the note. Once you've opened it, you can exit it. And now you're going to want to home teleport to Canifis or go to Barrows, whichever way you prefer. If you have a games necklace and you can home teleport there, you can do that. I'm going to use the way through the Mortmire Swamp. If you have a faster way from doing an 8 of the Mire Queue or in search of the Mire Queue, and you can go through the swamp that way, that's going to be faster. Or if you have the temple trekking option to go straight through the swamp to the Nature Spirits Grotto, you can go through that way. But I'm going to go through the swamp because none of those quests are required for this guide. So I'm going to assume you haven't done them. So you just make your way south through the Mortmire Swamp, all the way to the Barrows Brothers. If you've never done the Barrows Brothers bosses, I will leave a link in the description to my guide for those bosses. It is a little older, but it still has everything you need to know for the boss. The 4 melee Barrows brothers are all going to be weak to magic. The first one is Darok, located in the northeastern corner. He's weak to magic, and you're going to want to use Protect from range. Specifically, he's weak to fire spells, so use your fire spells. And you can take him down rather easily. There's nothing special about this Barrows encounter. It's just like every other Barrows encounter. If you've ever done one, nothing changes because it's during a quest or anything like that. It's just the normal encounter. Same with the puzzles at the end when you go down into the tunnels. Like I said, if you've never done the Barrows Brothers and you're nervous about this or worried, I definitely recommend going and watching my Barrows Brothers guide. Like I said, I'll leave a description in that, or I'll leave a link for that in the description below. So click on that if you need to. I definitely recommend watching it, as they are still a boss, even though I might make them look easy. I'm just really good at the game. That was sarcasm. Sorry about that. I'm actually really bad. Anyways, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that happened. So you want to make sure you kill all the Barrows brothers. You need to kill all 6 for this to work. So you can't skip any Barrows brothers. However, you can bring Barrows amulets to skip brothers that way. It was at this point I figured I might as well kill as many skeletons as I can to get better loot from the chest when I have looted anyway. So I killed a couple more skeletons before I went in the room. Killed my final brother. And once you loot the chest, you'll get that quest item you need. It's going to be the Barrows Relic. And then you can exit the Barrows however you want. Now from here, you're going to want to head to the Fremnik province. This is near the Hunter area. You want to go to this transport icon located here on your map. So you can home teleport to the Fremnik province and just walk north from the lodestone. We're going to the canoe that you took in the Tale of the Muspa quest. So you just want to travel with the canoe. And it's going to take you north up to this fortress here. You are just to the left of the red square there with the transport icon and the dungeon. You want to go east from where you are and click on the pedestal here to place your heat globe. And you're going to be able to squeeze past the ice block here. Now, as you saw that picture earlier, you want to go to that red square, which is on the south side of the fortress here. I've slowed this down to normal speed for the entire thing, just so you can follow along step by step so you don't get lost, as this is sort of a puzzle. Once you're through, you want to climb up the stairs on the western side and go all the way around to the other stairs on the eastern side and climb down. And then climb up the wall next to the door. From here, you're going to want to go back to the western side and climb down the wall near the trapdoor there. Now you're going to want to go in the trapdoor, and at this point, I'm going to recommend that you turn off Auto Retaliate. It makes it a lot easier to get through the dungeon down here without being interrupted by any water fiends or ice fiends. So enter the trapdoor. And from here, you're going to want to go east to the room just east of you and grab the heat orb off the pedestal. And place it on the pedestal to the west of the stairs, but in the room you came in on. This is going to allow you to go into the next room over, all the way to the west. Once you're in that room, you're going to want to cast Telekinetic Grab on the pedestal you just put the heat orb on. This is going to allow you to stay in that room, as well as getting the heat orb. And then use that heat orb that you just got on the pedestal within the room that you're in right now, and it's going to allow you to go down the trapdoor in the northwestern corner. Climb down the trapdoor. And then go into the southern room here and grab the heat orb off the floor. Take that heat orb and place it in the pedestal near the ladder. And then you're going to run east from here and pick up the damaged heat orb on the pedestal to your east. Now go all the way back out the way you came in. I'm going to use this time to shout out my French chat. If you're having problems with any quests in the future, or you just want to come hang out, be sure to join the French chat. It's just Lildogdog15. There's always somebody on, so if you want to come talk or hang out, just go ahead and do that. So once you're out of the trapdoor, you're going to want to go over to the smashed pedestal you walked by to get down to the trapdoor. And click on the globe on the floor to insert your heat orb. Once you insert it, you're going to want to right-click on it and select push. You get a little cutscene where your character pushes the orb, and it says it does something somewhere. This just allows you to progress further in the dungeon. So you're going to want to climb down the damaged wall once more, go in the trapdoor, and choose the first chat option to continue from where you left off. Now you want to go back down, so enter the trapdoor in the western room. Run east, south, and then west, all the way to the next heat orb that's heated up. You're going to pick up that heat orb. And run east with the heat orb back up the hallway you just came from. And at the end of the hallway, you ran south down. There's going to be a pipe. You can see it right here. Use the heat globe on the pipe. Right-click that pipe. And then select whack. Your character is going to push the heat orb through. It's going to bounce in the next room and land on the pedestal, melting the ice barrier. Now you're going to climb up the ladder in that room you just opened, directly to your south. And from here, go west. And it's time to fight the Ice Demon. So if you're not ready, you should probably go back and get stuff to be ready and make your way back here. But you're going to want to pray magic or ranged. That's what he uses to attack. And he's not weak to anything specifically, but do not use water spells as they do not work on him. So make sure you're using like a fire spell or magic or a melee or ranged or something like that. And he has very high defense, so he can be very hard to hit. Although he does have very low health, so when you do hit, you take like a quarter of his health with a single hit. I got lucky with a threshold ability that basically did all the damage I needed to do to him. He died, and then you're going to want to pick up the item he drops, which is the Frosthorne that you have to bring back to Azandra. Once you have this item, you can use the Ali's Pendant to teleport directly back to the dig site. And it's time to bring the two items back to Azandra. So go back to the dig site, and now you're going to operate the winch. And once you're down in the temple, walk south to Azandra, who's basically got the entire thing repaired. Choose the first chat option, I'd like to talk about the temple, and then the first chat option, I have something here for you. Get used to choosing I'd like to talk about the temple because it is used ridiculously high amounts in this quest. Click through the dialogue where you give him both the items and then choose the first chat option. Once again, what does the Frosthorne do? You thought I was going to say I'd like to talk about the temple, huh? I got you ready for it. Well, just you hold on to your socks now. It's coming. Continue clicking through the dialogue here where Azandra tells you about all the nonsense about the Frosthorne. And how he's too good to tell you what it really does. And he tells you he needs something else to finish the temple, so choose the first chat option. Okay, what do I need to obtain next? He says he already got somebody else to do it, so choose the first chat option. Once again, I'd like to talk about the temple. Now he tells you that you need to go meet the guy outside of the temple who has the item that you need. So it's the assassin from the quest Devious Minds that you had to do. So you can choose whatever chat options you want, but follow the chat options I have on screen to know you get it right. So choose the first chat option, mask or no mask. Second chat option, I guess you're just doing your job. The third chat option, sorry, I was just going there. Second chat option, I must admit the heist was well executed. He's going to give you the relic, and you don't need to say anything else. You can just go back down the winch once you have the relic. He's kind of full of himself anyway. Choose the first chat option when you talk to Azandra. I like to talk about the temple. And then after clicking through the dialogue of you giving him the relic, choose the fifth chat option, anyways, what now? followed by the first chat option, I'd like to talk about the temple. This is going to trigger a cutscene in which a lot of things happen. The first, including Zaros talking to Zandra and being summoned. Just click through the dialogue options here. Really, any of them work. That's why I didn't put them on the screen. And then a bunch of other stuff happening around Gilanor, such as the world almost being destroyed in the Abyss, as well as a statue of Zamorak being destroyed at a Zamorakian church. I guess that's what you'd call it. Talk to Zandra once more. I'd like to talk about the temple. Choose the first chat option. I'm glad I could help. Click through the dialogue, and that's finally going to be quest complete. You got your curses. Congratulations. If this helped, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below if you have any questions, tips, suggestions, or complaints. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're bored, check out some of my other stuff. I do boss guides, quest guides, and event guides. Thank you so much.